So January of last year, we sold our house, all of our stuff, and packed up our suitcases, and off on an airplane we went to another country. One of my life verses is 1 Thessalonians 2, verse 8. It says, just as a nursing mother cares for her child, so we cared for you, because we loved you so much. We were delighted to share with you not only the gospel, but our lives as well. And that's a verse that speaks to me, because it speaks of not only sharing the gospel, but actually taking the time and sharing your very life with someone. To actually invest your time, whatever it is, hobbies, prayer, crying, watching TV, going to a ball game, whatever it might be. That verse speaks a lot to me about life on life discipleship. So in the Philippines, that's what we do. We got ministries to mostly children that come off the streets, families that have little to no money. We minister to women of human trafficking, sex trafficking.
Survivors.
So yeah, they don't like to be called victims. They are survivors of human trafficking. So God has done some different things in our lives, things that we didn't expect several years ago. But He called us to serve in another country, and it's just wonderful to be. To know Jeremy, I mean, it was kind of a weird thing last year when we were selling all of our stuff at our house. He actually came and to our house and actually bought something that I'm not sure if he saw on the table or not. But it's just wonderful to see how God partners people together, groups people together, that the gospel is spread no matter where you are, whether it's here in Superior, in the United States, or in another country. God is doing wonderful things, and it's wonderful to be here with you tonight. So, if anybody has any questions,
are you planning to go back to the Philippines?
Yeah, actually, we came here now for our son's wedding. He got married on June 30th, so we stayed for a couple of extra weeks to meet all of you. So we stayed for a couple of extra weeks, and we actually go back on Monday.
Awesome.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so,
Do they speak English in the Philippines?
Awesome question. That is a phenomenal question. You get the A+ question today. So in the Philippines, English is a second language to those that go to school and advance through school. But the kids who live on the street, the ones that are poor, the ones that are struggling, they don't go to school, so they will not know English. So some of the ways you can tell the poor are, I'm wearing flip-flops today, and what you'll see in the Philippines is you'll see kids walking around with no shoes on whatsoever. It'll be 100 degrees out, the pavement's 120 degrees, and they have no shoes. Their feet are so calloused. Those are pure street children. They don't have a house, they don't have anything, and they would not speak English.
What language do they speak?
Many different languages, but the national language is Filipino, or sometimes called Tagalog. So actually, Tracy and I can speak Tagalog. We went through, and actually we'll always be learning, but we spent a lot of the last year and a half learning the language. So yeah.
Are you sponsored by churches here, or?
Yep, and you got the second best question. That's a phenomenal question. So our sending church, our home church, is North Bay Community Church on East 5th over there. But there are several other churches. There's some people in England that support us. So yeah, we're supported by other believers, other groups, other churches. So yeah, that's a great question. Our sending agency is called Action International Ministries, and their headquarters in the state of Washington. Any other questions?
How long are you going to be there for?
Third best question. Until what we always do, we joked a little bit. We always joke that until God tells us to go somewhere else. And I know that might be a little, open-ended, but that's seriously the way we look at it. That we will remain there with no plans on coming back, or until God tells us to go somewhere else. We'll retire it.
Praise God.
Yeah, we plan on being there.
There's no such thing as retirement.
Right. Amen. Yes.
You just move on to serve the Lord somewhere else.
Yes.
So we'll be there pretty much indefinitely.
Amen.
Yeah, working. So.
I had one more question.
Yes.
Is there a lot of unrest there, like wars or
Yeah, so the Philippines is broken up into different regions. The southern region, a place called Mindanao, is there's a lot of Muslims there, and they want independence from the rest of the country. So there's a lot of conflicts. There's a lot of kind of a civil war there in a sense. So it would actually be a little bit dangerous for us to go there. We're in the northern part, which is probably a little bit safer.
He's a little western, right?
But there's always some dangers around. There's always something that is potentially there. So we still have to be a little bit careful. There's not persecution like maybe you would find in, say, Afghanistan or Iraq or something like that. But there's definitely dangers there. We just have to be a little bit careful. I think you had one more question.
Yes, why is the poverty level so high there?
You know, to be able to answer that question would be a phenomenal way to go to the government and say, oh, just change this and you'll do it. The problem is so massively complex. Even going back to World War II when America was there and the Philippines gained its independence right after the war, you would have thought, following the U.S. Style of way we are, that country would have grown. I mean, look at Japan. Japan right now is a first world country, and if the Philippines had just done the same thing, they would have. But somehow they got stuck in this ongoing thing of corruption and different things that, for some reason, they are just stuck in this horribly corrupt world, and poverty just is rampant. And Christianity there, most people there would be Catholic, but evangelical was only about 12%. So the need for more Christians to be there is great, but there's so much corruption here. I think it's the corruption that kind of...
The whole infrastructure of the country is just caught way back in the past.
Yeah, so there's
Especially a
times...
third world country.
Yeah, there's times that Tracy will say, the Philippines is like a country stuck in like the 1950s, but then at other times it's just as modern as it is today here. So it's this very confusing place, and it's sometimes very difficult to describe, but there definitely is a lot of poverty and a lot of corruption.
And what's the pay there?
What's the
pay?
The pay? Not much. For the average Filipino who would work, a regular shift, 8 to 10 hours. Again, the average, there's some rich Filipinos, but the average would make about 500 pesos, which is about $10 for a 10-hour shift. So that would be $1 an hour. And it's funny because I go to McDonald's. I went to McDonald's the other day, and there's a sign, help wanted, starting pay. Yeah. $9.75 an hour or something. I'm sitting there going, that's what a Filipino would make in one day, let alone 1 hour. Yeah, and that, it's tough.
Can we pray for you?
Absolutely, that'd be wonderful. Well, thank you for all the questions.